What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Undialed podcast. Today we have two wonderful guests with us. We have in-person guests, not Zoom call today, so this is very special. Special guest, why don't you introduce yourself really quick? Zach, you can go first.
Hi, I'm Zach Lorenz. I ride for TSI Scooters and just kicking it, hanging out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how's it going, guys? I'm Kevin Closson. Yeah, and I ride for Hella Grip and TSI Scooters. Yeah, hope everyone's doing good today.
Oh, yeah.
Stoked to be here.
Yeah, I'm stoked that you guys are here. So we were actually talking about something really funny. We're going to start this episode off with Tinder and scooters. And Zach actually had a really great story about slow.
Yeah. I was just saying that a lot of the girls I matched with in slow were already following all the scooter riders.
Of course,
Slow,
it's a small
at least
town.
one of them. Yeah, and it was like so hard to navigate.
No. Let me ask. Who was the culprit? Was it Jack?
Dude,
was it Devin?
All ripping.
No, it was Jaden. Jaden's the one out there, isn't it?
Yeah,
He is.
Yeah. Yeah. Jaybird did match with one of the girls. Jaden, that's a funny. You'll have to get Jaybird on the podcast for that one. 'Cause that's a heavy one. That was good. That was good.
Hell yeah.
Basically just like ketamine on a beach.
Wow.
And going to some shitty SoundCloud rapper's house. And yeah, Jaden pretty much said the whole thing, what was going to happen, word for word.
Before it happened. So he had experienced this girl.
He experienced it, yeah.
And then you got the first person.
No, Jaybrick did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that's Jaybrick's story. He'll explain it way better. That was
I
just
need to
a
hit him up about that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one, but yeah.
But you know what's funny is like I feel like every scooter rider has Tinder, right? At least single scooter rider.
Yeah.
Because scooter riders are loyal. If any girls are watching, every scooter rider.
Very loyal. Yeah.
But it's kind of funny, like scooters are gay, right? Like, why do we all have Tinders?
I mean, yeah, honestly, I think scooter riders do better than most skaters. Like,
I think it's so funny that like that's just an insult to scooter riders. Like somebody will really come up to you and be like, "Scootering is gay," and it's like somehow that's supposed to relate with one another. Like, how is like someone's sexual preference about who they choose to like be with have anything to do with like the passion, like like a physical risky activity that involves a metal device? Like,
I don't know. I feel like whenever someone says that, they're not, I don't know, thinking with logic. They're just thinking with whatever, like, I'm just trying to knock this person down for whatever reason, you know? But yeah, it's a super silly concept to call someone that, like, for scootering, for riding anything.
I felt like it was so interesting when like the protests were going on and there was all the uproar in the media. I felt like it was so interesting. Just some of the people I feel like who have insulted me for scootering over the years were so quick to be like, no, I'm so open minded. I love everybody. Like I'm not like that. Yeah. But it's like, yo, if I still saw you at the skate park, you'd still call me a name. And I thought that was so funny. Like how people can like classify things in their mind. Like they can be open minded towards like one region of something, but like this other thing, it's like, no, I don't like that. It's fascinating how the human mind works like that.
That's what like blows me away about that stuff today is like when someone says stuff like that, my only response now is like, dog, it's 2020 and you're still hating. Like there's so much going on in this world that's like against hate and stuff.
Yeah.
And you're just pushing it in a different way, you know? It's ridiculous. I try and just look past it at that point. Don't give them the light of day.
Yeah, like, how is it with like skate parks out here? Like, do people call you names and stuff? Like,
you know, honestly,
or is there certain parks that are?
I feel like when I was like a freshman in high school and maybe like 8th grade, it was like probably the worst. And then it's been like a progressive stream, no matter where I've been, of just like less and less and less hate over the years. Like I honestly can't remember the last time that I've gone to a skate park and felt some sort of energy that I wasn't supposed to be there. Like maybe I feel confident on my scooter now and I have a trick range that's like impressive enough for other people and I have an awareness in a skate park.
Your party tricks, yeah.
So it's like I think that might be a factor to it, but like even kids, like I see like skater kids and scooter kids like getting along these days like pretty well, and it's actually like so beautiful to see. You know, I feel like if anything, like the real like hate between the sports is all just the older people who more skateboard for their personality other than the skateboarding for like the raw like endorphins they're getting from the actual activity.
Yeah, I get
and,
that.
And I feel like that's where the things come into each like bump into each other, is basically like the person's ego about themselves is fighting the ego of what that they think other people are thinking of them, and like I think that's where the whole beef even roots from. But I haven't seen much of it. Have you guys? Like,
yeah, there's like certain skate parks in the Bay Area.
I know, like Potrero Skate Park.
Yeah, I've never even been to Potrero.
Or Fremont Skate Park.
But yeah, Fremont, they kick you out. They say it's still illegal, which I think is dumb. Like, that's bullshit. Like, we should definitely send a letter.
Do you want to hear something really fascinating about Fremont Skate Park? And I've never talked about this like publicly before. And this is something like very fascinating. So you know how there's a library right next to the skate park in Fremont. There's like, so anyway, that library right there is the head library for all of the libraries in Alameda County. It's like the main building. And my mom works there. She's actually the deputy county librarian. She like basically runs all the libraries in the East Bay. And she's friends with the Parks and Recreation director for Fremont. She like goes out and eats lunch with her sometimes and like knows her. And my mom actually asked her about the skate park rules, and the lady was like, "No, scooters are allowed there." So like the park rangers, like the ones kicking scooter riders out, like they're just doing that on their own watch, and they've literally tricked the local cops into just believing them. So like. So I want to like go up there and like make this whole kind of big deal about it, and just kind of like just be like, yo, like what you guys are doing is like fucked up. You know what I mean? Like you guys are just completely abusing your power. Like you guys, like the park rangers, like you guys are completely abusing your power. You guys are teaching this fundamental lesson of just hatred. Like and that's what it comes down to. It's like when you, a park ranger, in front of a little kid, kick out somebody else, not because they're acting badly, not because they're acting disrespectful, but because of who they are. When you witness, when kids watch that action go down, it's like, that's bad. You know what I mean? Because it's like, that's really teaching hate.
Yeah.
And I just feel like if the park ranger was to go into somewhere and the kid could watch the park ranger like have a conversation with the scooter rider and like be like, all right, well, have a good day. You know what I mean? Like just be a normal human being to him. Like that might teach the kid a whole different lesson, you know? And I feel like there's so much identification about like who people are in this world. Like there's so much pride in like, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this and that. And I feel like we can't like cut down other people because of what they like to do, especially when it's harmless.
Yeah.
Especially when it's harmless.
The park rangers just like to rule the land.
Yeah.
You know, they like to enforce the rule. And I honestly think they get a kick out of it.
Yeah,
like, I used
for
to
sure.
just go and ride for like 15 minutes, just like passing by. Just like, oh, I'll just go ride for a bit. And he was like kicking me out. And I was just like riding around. Just like, all right, bye. Like, I know what's going on. Like, don't even waste your breath. Like, yeah. But I definitely think a meeting, or like maybe just film them like kicking us out and just be like, wow, that was like a little weird and a little too aggressive. Maybe you could let scooter riders in and just like have everyone ride.
My thing is like, so give me like 3 good reasons. Yeah. Like, and that's like the point where like none of them can rebuttal from it. It's just like, it's like, why aren't scooters allowed in the skate park? And the number one thing they say is it damages the skate park. It's like, how?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
It's like I see y'all smash your trucks on that pool coping when you're doing slash airs. Like you're telling me that's not the same thing as a back disaster? Like that's worst case scenario
you're
too.
Not breaking stuff.
And most of these places allow bikes too in the morning and stuff, and like pegs are fucking things up more than scooters are. You know? And that's like.
But the other thing too is like the city built this thing to get fucked up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's where you're supposed to ride.
That's what like doesn't make sense at all. Like the city built it. Like in Portland, there's Burnside, and like skaters built that back in the day, right? So like there's no scooters allowed there.
Yeah, tell me about that relationship, because I feel like that's a whole different type of scene.
It definitely is. I mean, if you have to ask the cops, like, yo, am I allowed to go scooter there? They're like, probably shouldn't, you know? And you're just like, all right. But I've been, like, I used to live probably 3 blocks from Burnside Skatepark.
Really?
And I've probably been there over 10 to 15 times. Like, and you just show up with beer and spliffs and be like, what's up? You just kind of stand at the wall for a second. Like, want a beer? And usually, like, the people skating there at, like, 11 p.m. live around there. You know, like there's a gnarly like homeless skate scene around Burnside.
Yeah,
like
that's interesting.
It's pretty nuts. Like there's some OGs that like you hear about and like you see them just wandering around Burnside. Like one chased me and Keaton on acid with an axe once. Like we just like looked up
Wow.
the street. Like we were above Burnside just like hanging out like and we like looked up the road and there was just like a skater with like a hard hat like but it was this dude named Germ. He had an axe and he was skating towards us and we were just like, oh fuck that. So we like dipped up this loading dock to like get in this parking lot and we just hear him like hitting this dumpster with the axe and we got the fuck out of there. And then like
Wow.
a couple weeks later, it was like the Portland Street Jam. We went back around that area and we told Eric Deptula and he like went down to the dumpster. He's like, dude, yeah, there's axe marks on this shit. We're like, because we were like tripping balls, you know? So we were like, did that actually happen?
That's insane.
But Kirk was there with us too. He wasn't tripping and he saw him. He was like, that was fucking gnarly.
That's crazy. Holy crap.
Yeah, so it gets gnarly around there. Like, I've probably only got kicked out of there like 5 times, like actually kicked out, like get the fuck out of here, you know? And 3 of those times were like, honestly, dude, just come back at like 2 a.m. or something, you know? Like,
Well, is there lights there? That,
yeah,
like,
there's full-time lights.
and is that were the lights put in by the skaters and stuff? or,
No, they
like-
were put in by the city because the skate park is under Burnside Bridge. It's
Yeah.
like built into one of the pillars of the bridge. Like there's pillars under it and stuff. It's pretty sick park. Like it's a lot of fun.
yeah.
It's gnarly, but it's a lot of fun. And they do all the work to it, like the skaters. So like I get it, you know, like but then there's some people like there's like this 40-year-old dude there with his kid on like Sunday morning with like he was a skater, but there's like still bikers there and stuff because Sunday mornings are for bikers. And I was like put up because you have to like jump up this little wall. So I put my scooter up there and he just like stood in front of me. He's like, "You're not coming up here." I was like, "Dude, what are you talking about? Like I come here all the time. Like I live 2 blocks away. Like I was here last night, you know?" And he's like, "No, you weren't. Like I've never fucking seen you here." I was like, "Dude, what?" Like I've been coming here. Like I've never seen you here. Like get out of my way, you know?
That's wild.
And he just wouldn't get out of my way and I just stood there like talking shit to him for like 15 minutes and like his kid is right there and he's talking shit back to me and I was just like, fuck this guy, you know,
terrible.
like it was bad. I ended
Wow.
up like leaving because I was just like pissed. But like there was like moms just like watching because like there was kids at Burnside and no one like it was whack. It was super whack.
Wow.
That was my worst experience there. But like I've also had like dudes trying to grab my scooter and shit. I'm just like, no, fuck off. Like
This is my scooter.
I'm like, you want to smoke a spliff? They're like, oh, you got weed? I'm like, yeah, like let's kick it. They're like, oh, all right, you know.
I feel like that's like a good way to start a conversation with pretty much anyone, especially in Oregon. I feel like
Yeah,
it's
dude, like
just like you got weed.
especially around there too. It's like, you know, it's like especially if they're like on the homeless side, you know, if like they're like, oh fuck yeah, he's got beer, like you just give him beer and you can ride for as long as you want.
Yeah. Is there people that live full time at Burnside?
Not like in the skate park, but like definitely up the road and stuff. They have a bunch of tents up there, and like I lived there for like a year and a half, and I would see the same dude or like this like one main dude that would skate pretty hard that would live in a tent up above it. But like you can camp anywhere in Oregon for 7 days legally, like on the sidewalk, unless otherwise posted. So they gotta just move their stuff like every 7 days or something.
Do
Might
they,
even be
do
2
they even
weeks.
keep tabs on that? Like, how do they moderate that?
Not really. No, it's just more like business owners keep tabs on it or something, and cops do sometimes if it's a place is like they can tell like, damn, they've been here for a minute. You know, like there's tents here, but that's about it. They'll just like ask them to move on, find a new spot.
Do they know who like originally built Burnside, or has it kind of just been a collective effort? Was there like a group of people that initially built it, or was it kind of just evolved over thousands of people? Like, I don't know.
I'm sure there was people that originally built it, but nothing. I've never really looked into it
I
that
feel it.
hard because they probably don't skate it anymore. Like, you know, but maybe they do. Like, it's been around for a long time, and it's changed a lot. Like, I've seen a lot of pictures from the older years, and it looks nothing like that now. Like, they've built this crazy big apartment beside it, and like kind of they like took part of the skate park out to build this apartment. So like, there's like quarters like right up against this like nice ass apartment now. It's pretty funny. Like
That's sick.
It's crazy to see because they're just like, no, fuck you guys, you know, like they don't give a fuck there.
Damn, that's wild. Holy crap. That's sick.
It's pretty gnarly.
Isn't that where Casey Koenig like hurt himself?
Like hurt himself?
Where he like hit his head?
No, I think that was at like Woodward or Skatepark. That was on like a vert ramp.
Wasn't he trying to do like some sort of drop in from like there was like an upper level?
No, Nick Twigo tail whipped from the top one.
Like there's like a tiny little half pipe
Yeah,
at
he
the
tail
top.
whipped from the top.
That's
there.
crazy.
And I think he did turn down too.
How gnarly is that drop in? I'm sure you've scoped it.
Incredible. Like it's from the top of the bridge into a quarter. Like it's gnarly.
Damn.
It is fucking gnarly. And it's funny because in the tail whip clip, Germ is in that clip. The dude that chased me with the axe. He's like, "Fuck yeah, dude!" Like it's pretty sick.
Really?
Like yeah.
Wow.
Damn. I'm sure that anyone would get hyped there. Like, no, I'm sure this may be like a monthly occurrence that anyone even like kind of messes around with dropping into that. Like, I'm sure no
Dude.
matter what you're on, people are gonna get hyped.
Dudes have like butt dropped it on their skateboard. Like,
I've seen that.
yeah,
I've seen
Germ was the first one to do that. He's like the originator of the fucking coffin drop in from the top of that.
Coffin drop it. Oh my
Like
gosh.
heavy shit.
That's wild. I feel like the skaters in Oregon are like a different breed of people. Like just with all of like the unique skate parks they have there, all of like the crazy bowls. Like remember like even the video we watched yesterday, you know what I mean? Like those like they have like the most crazy transitional skating. Like I feel like Burnside is kind of a manifestation of that.
Definitely, if you grow up skating Burnside, you're gonna be ripping. That's for sure. Because it's gnarly, and some dudes have lines that are just like, holy, like how did you even think about that and like do it? You know, like they do some crazy stuff there.
It reminds me a lot of like Flower Shop in San Francisco. Like I know Flower Shop's a lot smaller, but just like the vibe of it.
Yeah.
I know sometimes like there's days like when we would go to a flower shop like way back, like it was just like not today. Like not today. Like there's just like some homeless person like in there
Yeah, or
doing
just like a bunch of shit or whatever it may be.
I remember this other
in
day.
there.
Were you there the day that like the door opened? And then like some person
They gave
came
us
out with
watermelon?
and they came out with a tray with watermelon.
Yeah.
That was so random.
Oh my gosh. You know, me and Anton were just talking about that the other day. We were trying to figure out who was there.
Yeah,
we
I
knew
was
it was
there.
like a good amount of people there. Yeah, oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that was the funniest. That was one of the best experiences I've ever had there. It's like, oh yeah, get some free watermelon right now?
I remember
For sure.
I remember you know those like ledges that are like right next to it.
Yeah.
I remember my first time ever in that area. I was with this kid, you know, Ricky. I was with
course.
Ricky, and we were just riding those ledges, and then somebody like texted him. He's like, "Yo, we're right next to Flower Shop," and I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, I think it's right there." And we just like we like literally turned both of our heads, and we're like, "Oh, there it is!" Like,
Oh my God.
it's you know it's just right
Yeah,
there. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I was like, "Whoa."
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, that's a weird place to figure out. That definitely has a certain kind of line to like ride Flower Shop.
It looks so much better in video. I remember like my first time there, I was like low key disappointed. I was like, this thing is fucked to ride. Like, and Jay Swenson did like I can't remember if it was back blunt finger whip or if it was finger whip back blunt, but he did something back.
It was back blunt finger whip. I'm pretty sure.
That was so ahead of its time.
I still just remember Eric Feenstra's hurricane through the pocket in tilt one. That's like my favorite clip there. Just like,
You know Ben Rayborn when he stalled the ceiling. You know he's a skater, but
yeah.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
the ceiling stalls.
yep.
I want to see a scooter rider do it. I know it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it could happen.
If they like hand plant, like hit the
Imagine
wheels
like
on
getting
top.
upside. You'd have to do it like backside and just ball up.
Who's real good at those inverted plants? It's Cooper's good at them, and you know like Bobby Reves.
Yeah.
He's
idea,
good at
just
them
do an
too.
invert.
What if he did an invert, but like wheel rode the? That would be sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be like
super
Dylan
sick.
Morrison. He's really good at those.
He's good at those too. Yeah, that Dylan
He
might
just
be
like
the.
flaring right off the bottom.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
something.
That's sick. So do you guys ride in like Kevin? You're a part of the concrete crew. Do you guys like mostly ride San Francisco? Like when you guys ride on the weekends?
yeah. I mean, it's San Francisco or Oakland or South Bay, like San Jose.
I just know because
go everywhere.
Anton lives with Kirk in San Francisco now, right?
Yeah, so it's Anton, Kirk, and Danila in a house. It's really sick.
That is
So
sick.
that's where we've kind of been staying on and off, and yeah, we usually just ride around like the city. Anton finds a bunch of spots just driving around, so we're gonna go ride city spots, there's definitely like stuff on the list always. It's awesome.
That's really sick.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember like when we used to go there like years ago, it was like kind of a pain a little bit because no matter like where we were coming, you guys were coming from South Bay, I was coming from East Bay. It was just like an hour in, you know what I mean? It was like it was just an adventure in. I feel like now that you have a homie that like lives there, now that you have you guys must be able to just maximize content. Like,
yeah, it's great. We have a great little home base there.
That's sick.
Like go and just ride spots. There's so many spots just around the house too, like neighborhoods. It's wild. Yeah,
that's
a great city.
That's one thing interesting about San Francisco is I feel like so many of the spots are literally people's houses.
Yeah,
like I feel like I feel like in most other cities or college campuses, wherever else you find spots, it's like you're not dealing with like somebody's front door. But like in San Francisco, it's like no, you're grinding like somebody's like front door rail. Like
yeah.
It's so funny though, because like you go to other cities and you're like, no, we probably shouldn't ride house spots here. But you go to San Francisco, you're like, oh yeah, it's a fucking go. Like you're you don't go fuck. And maybe it's because they're nicer there and they won't shoot you or something. I don't know. Like
yeah, but it's like I don't know. Like it just like it's like not as disrespectful in San Francisco. Like
yeah, it's like ingrained in the culture of like San Francisco.
Yeah,
people skate San Francisco. They've been doing it for years, and like they're stoked sometimes to see you like
it's a trip.
riding their spot.
Facts. Do you guys ever run into like skate groups out there? Because I know the skate scene's like super deep. Like, what does that normally look like? Like, suppose Concrete Crew rolls up on like a crew of skateboarders. What normally happens?
Well, yeah, I mean, it just depends on the setting. Like, if it's a spot and we roll up and there's like a serious skate crew there, we'll turn around and leave.
Yeah,
because like they got to the spot first. Yeah, I remember like Tubi always telling us that. Like, that's like the right thing to do. Like, if you roll up and there's like a bunch of people there, you just go. You don't like try to ride the spot with like the big crew of skaters. No, but if it's like 2 or 3 guys, then it's it's whatever. You become friends with the dudes, like most likely. But
usually they roll up on us.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Third and Army and shit, they'll pull up. Like I think Spitfire or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw Nigel Houston the other day.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's pretty nuts.
He was just like, doing a back Smith down rail with a kink on the end. I was like, oh, cool. He's that guy.
He's so good. Like he's such an acrobatic skater.
Yeah.
It's
just magnets on his shoes.
I think it's sick. Like Thrasher is also based out of San Francisco. Like I don't know. Has Concrete Crew made any meets with Thrasher? Made any like
pulled up
any advances with Thrasher?
We pulled me and first time I came out to San Francisco, we were riding a spot in front of Thrasher, like the headquarters. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like the loading dock rail, and then there was just like dudes outside smoking a cigarette and stuff. I looked over, and they're all wearing Thrasher hoodies. I was like, this is fucking Thrasher right here. I like went to the front door and looked in, and like Sony magazines and shit. I tried to go in, but it was locked.
Yeah, but we've never like talked to them or anything like that. That was just like we were in the area of the city where they have the warehouse or something like that.
I feel it.
They're hyped though.
But
they're definitely hyped.
That's sick. I'm still just waiting for the day that I see like one of you concrete guys just like on Thrasher or something, like just with like the crew or something like that. I think that'd be insane.
I mean, Garrett Braz, he was on Thrasher.
Yeah.
Mark Gonzalez. Yeah. That was sick.
That was really cool to like hear what Mark Gonzalez had to say about it too. Like how how Mark almost made a point out of that clip. Like he didn't just film that clip randomly at a skate park. Like he made a point out of it. And that was like a really powerful statement. Like that was really
big.
sick. Yeah.
That was big. It's so funny to still see the hate after that too though. Like such a respected person being like, yo, this is sick. And then like you still get all the hate. Like it's crazy. Like
do you know what's been kind of a bummer is like when I was growing up as like a kid in high school, like I didn't have any other scooter riders in my school. I was the only one. What I did have is I did have a group of skate friends, and that's who I would normally like go to Val with or like just ride around my local Castro Valley area with. But basically, it's gotten kind of weird because like one of my skater friends in the group, his name is David. He's like a photographer for Thrasher now, and he shoots for Thrasher. And have you ever heard of the crew called Brute SF?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's like a part of Brute SF, and he's like the main photographer. I'm sure you've seen him in videos before. He's like this black guy with an afro. He's always shooting photos, but he's like one of my really good friends growing up because I was in the same class as him. and it was like a little bit frustrating to me because it was like we had such a good relationship like growing up, but like recently I reached out to him and I was like, yo dude, like I want to come to the Bay soon. Would you be down to like go and shoot photos one day? And he was like, nah. And I was like, why? And like, is it because I scooter? Like just as a joke, he's like, yeah, actually, like, and I was like, damn.
Wow.
Like,
did you call him on the phone or was this over text?
this was over text, and I just got like really upset, and I was like, damn, like the beef runs like that deep, and he's like nothing but like respect for you, like I still like you as a person, you're still my homie, but like I just can't be seen be doing that, and then it made me think about it more. It's like oh, he doesn't even really have a problem with it. It's like the homies that he's around have a problem with it, and he's worried about his own image being tarnished
for sure.
by shooting a scooter rider, and it's just like, damn, that shit runs that deep. Like that sucks. Like I can't think of a single thing I can't shoot a photo of. Like, is there a single thing in that if I shot a photo of it, Scootering would like banish me? Like I can't think of something. Like even if I shot something crazy like porn, like I still think the Scootering community would still accept me. Like
yeah, probably. Yeah.
I don't know. Is there something to like keeping up your image and keeping up like it's almost like your portfolio work, right?
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
take photos, you have like a book full of like, oh, these are my best photos.
But it's
that
like
I've
he didn't
taken.
even have to post those. It was just like he could have just shot them for me and just moved along. But it's like he couldn't.
But I think you said it like it comes down to him just being kind of self-conscious about it. Like
Yeah.
He's worried about what other people are going to think. Like it has nothing to do with you. You know, like I don't know. It's just him being self-conscious, which unfortunately is the case with I feel like a lot of people. They're like, oh, I don't want to seem this way around these people, and it sucks that you can't just be yourself all the time. But unfortunately, like our culture makes us self-conscious about things.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Like I guess they're not the worst thing in the world to be self-conscious about it. Like at least we're not self-conscious about like being hungry. You know what I'm trying to say? Like at least we're self-conscious about like the thing that we do in our spare time. Like
exactly.
like life could be so much worse.
I wonder if all skaters just like scootering, but like they're just too scared to admit it. You know,
They
And,
do.
like-
When they ride
like-
your scooter, they're stoked.
Oh yeah, there's like I wonder if there's just like
How
whole skate
often do you
teams
get
where,
the urge? I mean, sometimes. Like maybe sometimes you do this, but like how often do you get the urge to like ride somebody's skateboard?
Yeah,
Like I just don't.
I totally do.
No, like sometimes if they have like a cool, unique skateboard, but it's just like I feel like when I go to the skate park, like every skater just wants to ride my scooter. Like it's just like a thing.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't have that same urge that they have to ride my scooter for me to ride their skateboard. Like
depends the park for me.
yeah,
Like if
I
it's
feel
a fun
that.
little park, I'm like, oh yeah, I can slap some curbs
Yeah,
here.
there's definitely some parks I cannot skate at.
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
yeah, I like hopping on and cruising a little bit. But
I like riding.
yeah,
bikes
it's true. I'm
more.
not gonna be like, hey man, let me ride that skateboard.
Yeah. It's more
That
like
skateboard's
it's
sick,
more like
bro.
you ride their skateboard
Yeah.
because they're riding your scooter.
If
Like,
it was like, yeah, crazy cut skateboard. I really want to make my own skateboard. I think it'd be sick.
that's sick.
Make a crazy long skateboard.
A longboard.
Yeah, longboard.
Maybe I'm tripping about this, but doesn't Danila or Kirk or someone make surfboards?
All
Yeah,
three of them.
Yeah, they all do. Yeah,
Jim,
we've all made surfboards.
Dude,
Yeah,
you got to make a skateboard.
yeah, a skateboard would be sick. And it's just like using wood veneer, like you did for
Yeah,
your
yeah,
ramps,
yeah.
You know, it's just you need the press.
You need 7 sheets of Canadian maple or something, whatever
Yeah.
you want to use.
How much was that? Is that expensive?
So from my park, I got really thin veneer. Like I got 1/100th of an inch.
Oh, wow.
And I actually have some pieces of it in the garage. I could show you afterwards.
Yeah.
But when they use for skateboards, they use a little bit thicker. To be
Yeah, I
honest, they
bet.
use like 130 or like 1/30th an inch But basically, I got the thickness that people make fingerboards out of. And people
yeah.
for fingerboards, like the little fingerboards I have in there, those are 5 plies pressed, which is like crazy to think
Yeah.
about. Like
5 plies. Wow.
that they get that
paper
small.
thin.
But it's like, dude, like if you got the mold, like you could for sure do it. But the sheets of veneer that I got, like each one of those sheets was around $300
Yeah.
for a 4x8 sheet. But I think the only reason they were so expensive is because of the tooling that they needed to make it that thin.
Yep.
I think that the thicker sheets are almost a little bit cheaper, which is funny.
I think so. Yeah, I was just happening to research a bunch of like veneer stuff recently for a school project, and I was like, oh my god, these are expensive. Like, it's a good amount of money for a thin sheet of veneer. But
Well, you just
yeah,
think about
really
like
cool.
the tooling that they must have for that. Like that's very precise,
yeah,
like
'cause they're just
machinery.
planing it.
Like
That's wild.
the fact that they can unravel a tree.
Yeah,
That's kind of
right?
a mind bender.
Yeah, they do some wild
Yeah.
stuff.
But yeah, so are you guys working on any scooter parts right now?
Scooter parts, like building scooter parts?
No, like I mean maybe, but
Oh,
I mean
scooter
like
parts,
edits,
like riding
like
scooter.
like edits.
Yeah, we're both working on
It's interesting your mind
video.
went there. Are you working on scooter parts?
I want to be.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'd be sick.
that's sick.
But
We're doing. We have big plans for TSI.
Full length?
There's talks of things, you know.
You don't have to say anything, but I
Yeah,
would love
there's
to
talks
see
of
it.
video.
I would
We're
love to see
working
it
on
TSI
parts.
full length.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
so
mean, I
that's
guess
what
you
we're
could cut
doing.
it too, but yeah, we are making a full length, and so hopefully it'll be.
Is that a secret?
I don't know. We haven't announced it or anything.
Or,
yet.
or is
I
it
mean,
one of those? Is it one of those things? It's like it's a big project, so you don't want to oversay anything.
That's kind of the thing too. Is like we don't have a deadline because we want this. Like we've never done a TSI full length, and that's like we want everyone just to be happy with their parts, you know. And like we want to give everyone as much time as they need, and like we're all older and like working full-time jobs or going to school full-time, you know. So we need a bit more time than like these young kids that can just bust it out in the summer, you know.
Yeah.
So hopefully, like next year would be sick if we could do that, but we'll probably in the next 2 years, like not next summer, but the summer after that is probably when things will happen. But
What do you want for your specific video? What do you want to be like the main focus of it? I feel like obviously scooter tricks are like the focus of scooter videos, but like I feel like I feel like everyone kind of contributes their own little piece to like their video that's truly uniquely them. Is there anything that you want to highlight about your video that isn't distinctly the tricks?
I have always thought that scooter videos shouldn't be overproduced or in a way, you know, like you shouldn't just make it in a couple months, you know, like I grew up watching BMX videos and stuff, and one of my favorites was Deadline, and they filmed that for like 5 or 6 years, and like that was my favorite because like you could see them grow up in the video, you know, and like they almost had like 2 parts, like their old footage part and then their new footage part, and that was like my favorite to see like someone grow up in a video. Like that's like they put so much time and effort into that, and it shows, you know, like they're growing up.
So you want to highlight like self-progression in your video?
Pretty much, yeah, like self-growth, and just like I want to see people grow and become like
What aspect do you want to grow in your video? Is it like a mental growth, or is it like a physical growth? Is it a
everything, all growth. I always want to grow my mind, my physical state, my scootering, you know, my tricks, how I do things, you know, it just all depends. Try to be better each day, but you know, I just want it to show like my life in a way, you know, like just kind of growing up, and like 'cause I've been filming it for a while, so it's
No, that's sick. No,
Yeah.
I love to like ask people deep questions
Yeah,
about
no,
like
for
their,
sure.
their edits and like what it means to them, because
yeah,
I
no,
feel
that
like
was a
it's
good question. I like
it's-
that question.
It's never like addressed. But what about you, Kevin? I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean, I think progression was definitely kind of at the top of my list. Like when I would be filming a video, it's like, oh, what new trick am I, thinking about? Like what's on the list? Like I'd physically make lists, you know, of like stuff I want to do at spots, and you do them or you not do them. And now it's kind of more about just what feels the most fun. Like how can I use this spot and feel good riding it? And then I just like try to do tricks with that kind of mindset. And
So would you say
That's-
that
it's a good time.
before you would write down just the raw tricks that you want to do,
Yeah,
and
straight
that
up.
was your objective, but now what you're doing is you're almost writing the spots down and that's the banger of the trick, is like the spot, but it's just how you use the spot, not necessarily how you use your scooter,
I'm more
or how you use your
definitely,
scooter on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, you got to use your scooter.
Yeah,
but yeah, I love, oh man, finding like a cool, good spot that you can ride the way it's supposed to be ridden. It feels the best. Like that is a super great feeling, and I'm definitely chasing that. And that's kind of like where traveling comes in. Like you put yourself in a different environment, everything's new, and you're just like, oh, I could ride it this way. Like, oh yeah.
It's so it's so interesting you said like the way that the spot is supposed to be ridden, because I feel like that definition is like for you that's 100% correct, but for me it's like how I would ride the spot,
Yeah.
and like the proportions of my body, what my scooter can do, what it's probably it's a different answer. You know what I mean? It just is.
And like the tricks that you feel comfortable doing, or like the way you want to spin, like you're gonna spin into the bank differently than maybe I would. You know, it's like, and that's what's so great about it. It's different for everybody that looks at it. So. Yeah, little piece of art, little piece of architecture.
It's so interesting.
Different ways.
So I got an interesting question for you guys, and I want you both to answer this, and I want your unique answers, because I feel like this is a question that everyone has a different answer to. And Zach, I'll ask you first.
Okay.
So over the course of like filming an edit, you know, you at one point in filming the edit, there's the very beginning. It's where it's just an idea, and then you finally film the first clip and you get the ball rolling, right? And then there's all the way up until the point that it's like done and uploaded, and it's been up for like years. You know what I'm trying to say? Like that's the progression of a video. And it's like, what point in that process do you like the most? Because I talked to some people, and they like the part where they land their trick and they're rolling away from their ender. That moment is what they love. That particular moment. The other people will say, like, when I show my friends this video, Clayton says the moment that he exports his video from the editing software, because that's when he knows it's done. Like it's like, what point is it for you, Zach, and what point is it for you, Kevin? I'm so curious.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't really felt like I'm done yet, you know? I feel like I'll be done when, like, I can't scooter anymore. You know, that's, like, kind of my done, if that makes sense, you know? Like, I'm always going to try and film clips no matter what and stuff. And
so what aspect of it, like, would you say that, like, when you're filming a video, is it when you're gearing up to do a trick is your favorite part, like getting into that mental zone, or like what aspect of like the video would you find the most accomplishing, or brings you the most energy, or brings you the most happiness?
Probably, yeah, being at the spot with the friends and, like, cracking jokes, especially when you're, like, pissed off, but someone still makes a joke. You're just like, motherfucker, you know? Like, you just want to, like, laugh and just, like, be over it. So you're just like, all right, let's get it here. Like, let's hang out, you know?
Just
Like,
takes one.
It just takes one. And, you know, that one really pisses some people off, but it's true. It just takes one. Like, and if you get it done in one, then you're good to go. You can hang out, and then someone else films a clip, and you're just kicking it, like, in the sun.
And just that energy of going through just like the struggle and that release of energy.
Yeah, just that release, just like, sick. I can hang out now. Like,
okay,
you know,
okay,
like,
yeah,
just
yeah.
like
spliff time.
Yeah, pretty much spliff time. Like, you know, like, fuck yeah, like, let's get this done. like
a clip is filmed. You've watched it, and spliff time. That's your favorite
sometimes
moment.
I don't even watch it. I'm just like, I did it. Like, we're good. Like, just run it to the next spot. Like,
I feel that.
Yeah, it's just probably that relief. Yeah, just like, or if I have something in my head, or I've, like, never been to that spot, and, like, I did the trick that I wanted to do, and I was just like, fuck yeah. Like, you know, that's a good relief too. Like, seeing something in my head and then actually doing it is always nice. Like, I'm sure everyone gets that. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah,
of course.
Yeah, for sure.
What about you, Kevin? I'm curious.
I don't know. I think it's an interesting. I don't know. It's an interesting thing where it's the parts that you don't see in the video that maybe are the most enjoyable. Like, it's the time in between each clip, like how you were saying, kind of like after, or like a little bit before, when you're just like messing around and like saying like, oh, you should do this, oh, you should do this, and just like coming up with ideas. But I mean, I love like being in, like, really in it with the trick. Like, it feels great. Like, where you're just, all you're thinking about is the trick in front of you, the rail you need to grind, or the gap you need to clear, and like, it's almost like your brain turns off. You just like think about nothing, and you're doing what you're doing. And I definitely love that feeling, and I'm kind of like chasing it all the time. Yeah, just like, you know, you kind of, when you're starting a trick, you kind of run up to it, you know, maybe you do like a little like cheater board slide on a rail or something and like fall off, and then you really commit to it. And after you commit and fall and you eat shit, and then you're like, oh yeah, all right, here we go. Like, now it's like game time. You're not thinking about, you know, if you need to get higher on top, because you're going to do it. And it's, oh man, like that is in itself a phenomenal feeling.
Just that transition of like, okay, I know I got this. Yeah. Like that little fire that starts inside of you at that moment.
It's right after the first bail.
I feel like eating shit helps. You're like, okay, I ate shit. That wasn't
that's
that
the worst
bad.
that's gonna happen.
You know? Yeah, like, and then
it happens worse.
Yeah, but then at that point, you're like, word, I'm still good. Like, let's get it. Like,
Yeah.
won't be worse than that.
Dude, I remember one of the most like revolutionary moments of my life, period, was when I jumped into the 50 for Hollywood 16. And that
Yeah.
was like revolutionary for me because like I didn't think I could do it going in earlier that day. Like I genuinely did not think I could do it.
Did you think about it the whole day? Like,
Well,
was it
like-
the point of the day.
It was kind of like one of those things where it was just like I had told people around me like I know I can do this. Like I know I'm physically capable of doing this. And then it kind of got to the point where and then I went to the spot actually once. I went there when Jack Douth came into town way back in the day. He came in and that was when he filmed that when that whole dumb crap came off when he copied Shorty's tricks and all of that. I didn't know about any of that when it happened, but we went to Hollywood 16 that
Forgot about that kid.
we went to Hollywood 16 that day, and I like eyed it up, but I was too scared to hit it. Like I was too scared to board it, front board it, anything. So I just
looked
kind of
at it.
watched Jack hit it, but I got like the idea of it in my head, and then like that idea started to just like play around, and then later I went back there with Derek Marr. And I showed up to it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this ain't that bad." So I boarded it, I front boarded it. I got my little line for my video where I actually did like the upper rail to the 16,
Nice.
which I was
yeah.
which I was hyped on, and so I did that, and then it got to the point where it was like Derek had gotten his trick, I'd gotten my line. The only trick left was the front 50,
Nice.
and I was just like, and everyone was kind of knew it, and they were kind of looking at me like, "All right, well, like, are you gonna do it? Are you gonna do it?" Like. So I just did like a few run-ups to like the stair set, and I was just like, and I finally just like gave up. I was just like, I can't do this. Like I had like this little panic attack. I started crying a little bit, just like off to the corner. I was just like, it's like I can't do this. Like
Yeah.
and Derek is like, he's like, just get up, just do a few more run-ups, just see if you feel it. And I was like, all right, bet. So I get back up. I'm like doing a few more run-ups, and then finally, I don't know why this happened. This is so weird, but this happened. There was this car that drove by. And it was a Cadillac Escalade, and they drove by, and they're just like, "Get off your scooter and go to college." And I don't know why they said that, like out of all things.
Oh,
but I just kind of
college.
they were just like it was just like you need to stop riding your scooter and you need to go to college. But I just kind of like looked at them, and I had this like crazy like series of like electrons that just series of neurons that connected in my brain, where it was basically like, oh shit, Will, like you didn't go to college because you were going to scooter. And right now you are too scared to scooter. You are a little bitch.
Let's run it.
And you need to do this rail because otherwise he's
Wow,
right.
what a trip.
You do need to go to college. And I was like, he's like, I just got to this point where it's like you either front 50 this rail and you like commit yourself to scootering or you don't.
Yeah,
And I
dude,
just
that's
was
good.
like, all right, I know what I need to do. So I basically like went back, did another run up, looked at it. I was like, all right, whatever the fuck happens, I guess. Like, even if I eat shit, like this is gonna be good content. People would love to watch Will Cash and eat shit on Hollywood 16.
Oh, man.
And so I went,
man.
I jumped into it, and I missed it. First tee, I missed it. And I fell down to the bottom, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me because I realized like, oh shit, I can fall on these huge rails.
How did you hit the rail like with your arm or?
So I missed the 50 and I dropped down, and the rail got caught like in like the V of my bars, and I kind of rode on my bars down the whole rail, and it was kind of this weird
bar grind.
Yeah, you know, I'm sure you've done one of those before.
Yeah,
I
hit my bars the other day.
And like and basically I did that, and it occurred to me that like no, like you can actually do tricks and like get away from them and like get out of them, like your muscle memory still is gonna work. Like you'll be fine. And then I missed the next one, which was all right. I was fine. And then I landed the third one, and I just remember like,
hell yeah.
I just remember like, damn, that was like, that moment was just like such a revolutionary moment for me because it was like I really believe in myself after this. Like you have to believe in yourself, and that was just cool. I don't know.
Yeah, you
Just
pushed
takes that one slam.
Yeah, I mean, you pushed it. Like you pushed like your probably idea of what you could do that day.
Do you
It was,
ever
like, a
do you
whole
ever
new
like
thing.
I feel like this happens to me a lot on like handrail tricks, more than anything else. But do you ever feel like you jump through like a portal or something like that when you like go for something scary, like right before you like leap for whatever you're about to do? It just kind of feels like life gets fake for a second. It's just like,
Yeah,
and
I
maybe
feel
it's
like-
just the overdose of adrenaline that you're feeling. I think that's what it really is. But it's just like, it's like everything just kind of goes silent, and it's just kind of like it's just you versus you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's amazing when people can like say what they were hearing like while they were doing a trick, you know, or notice those like other senses that are going on. Because I feel the same way. Like it's just blank. it's sometimes black.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't see anything. Like you're like 360ing something and you're like not looking where you're going. It's just you give it all, and like you gave it all to that rail and it worked out. It's sick.
You know what it's like front 50ing big rails. Like that's a scary moment rolling up to that thing, jumping into it.
Yeah, it's all about getting in. Yeah, getting in is
getting in and then like
part.
Getting over it too. Like that's like the whole other dynamic to a 50 on fat rails. It's like you kind of have to put yourself in that like nut position. You know what I mean? Yep. Like in order if you want to hold the thing out, like
I've nutted harder with the front board, honestly.
Yeah,
just because front boards, I'm like leaning over with my body, and it's just a weird orientation, like to step back. But yeah, I don't know. 51, I'm sure it's coming.
The one trick that really stands out in my mind from your edit is that front 50 to sugarcane on that huge rail. That was perfect. I watched that. I was like, damn, he did that.
Thank you. Yeah, dude, I got super lucky.
Was that one of those?
Super lucky on that one.
That was first try, wasn't it?
No, it was not first try. But I got into it every time. I didn't miss it. So that was sick.
So you basically got to the bottom and just kind of bailed out.
Yeah, I got to the bottom and bailed out probably like 3 times, and then did it to lip, and then did it to sugarcane or whatever.
So you front 50 down the whole thing a few times, and then
I don't even know if I landed it. Maybe like 1 foot or something weird.
Got it.
But then I like went into board, and I was like, oh, I have so much time, like up there for so long. But
that's so sick,
I was happy
dude.
with that.
Your video part like really blew like my expectation. Like I knew, like obviously I knew you're Kevin Closson, but like that video like damn, I was really stoked on that one.
That's it.
Let me ask though, like why Pink Panther? Maybe I'm just being like, what does that mean to you?
Well, it doesn't have like too much of an underlying meaning. It was kind of like I wanted to do pink just because I like pink. Yeah. And then we didn't know what to call it because all of the hell grips have like kind of cool little names that go along with the color. Like the ice box is like the blue on blue. And then we were just like spitballing names, and I was like, oh, Pink Panther. Like I love Pink Panther. Like I've loved watching Pink Panther like growing up, and he's kind of like a tall, slender dude. So it seemed to fit.
That's sick. Yeah.
Got that stick figure aesthetic, you know? But yeah, super stoked with Pink Panther and how everything came out. I was really trying to push myself, you know, when you think like, you're like, oh, I need to do something else. Like you board slid the rail, you know, and you're like, oh, like, I feel like there's more potential here, you know, and that's when it comes into like, doing something you can't see yourself do. That's like always the goal, is to be like, oh man, I didn't even think I could do this, and I just did it. Like, oh man, that's a great feeling too.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, no, scootering is so crazy because I feel like when I describe scootering to people, they think that like I just go out there and I try to like hurt my body, but I feel like it's so much more of a mental game than like a physical game in like a way. Like, I don't know if you've ever noticed that.
Yeah, it's like how long can you keep your composure? You know, like there's like people that will like explode and throw their scooter and like go all crazy, and it's almost a game between that. Like it depends on the kind of trick that you're doing, you know, and you can choose to do different tricks based on how long they'll take. Like if you just, you know, do like, I don't know, I guess anything can take a range of time, but if you're doing like a gap, like that's going to be quicker than doing like this grind manual, you know, line or whatever.
Yeah. I feel like everyone in scootering has got to do a trick at some point that they don't think they can do. Like a trick that's just really going to take like a leap mentally for them. And I feel like that that progresses you so much as like a person, not even just as a scooter rider. Like I think about just like jumping into a handrail or jumping into like something scary. It could be a gap or whatever. It's like pretty equivalent to like having like your first kiss or something. It's like that adrenaline rush. It's like that uncertainty, that like worry, and then like that release of energy. It's just crazy how fast like fear can turn into excitement. And I feel like there's so many people out there that just never get to experience that. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of like a microcosm for things in life, right? Like you think you can't get that job, or you think you can't be that person, but then you become you know what it is.
Yeah, it's
take that leap.
It's so cool.
Yeah, growth is tight. Grow. Just keep growing.
Dude, you need, in your edit, to highlight all the growth, you need to have like time lapses of like plants or something.
That's kind of what I want. Like just
growing like that.
Growing and just
I have an idea. You should at the very beginning. It starts off with a tobacco seed, and a weed seed.
That'd be sick.
And then
There's just a plant growing.
Grows
through your
into a
part.
spliff.
and then at the end of the
Forms.
video, it's just a spliff, and then you smoke it.
I wish I had more like old VHS tapes and shit of like when I was a kid and stuff. Because I
Yeah.
love when like videos have that of like you're just a young buck like riding a bike outside and stuff. I wish I had all that shit, but unfortunately not.
None of it.
I don't think so. I don't think my parents like had a video camera.
Dude, I have some of that footage. It's deep though, but I want to go through it.
Get some of that, dude. That'd be a sick intro. Just like,
My goal for scootering is like for myself personally is I really want to like create probably like 2 to 3 more really good scootering videos, or at least good to me, you know what I mean? Just like my own rendition of it. And I want to make them like all kind of connect together.
That'd be cool.
And so that way, by the end of my scootering career, I could basically have like my own full length.
Yeah.
Where all of the edits like coincide with each other. But one thing that I want to do is I want to bridge the gaps between those edits with like what's going on in my life and like what else I'm like mentally like struggling with or like going through, and like I want to create like this little movie out of like my scootering
documentary
career.
movie.
So like I've been saving most of my footage from like that I have like that for this final
That's sick.
project. But that's like I've been working on that for so many years. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and
it's
that's
just
those are my favorite
it's
things.
it's like basically all my little projects compiled together into a big over project.
Yeah,
That's been like occupying my mind.
just like your life movie. That's all I want to see. Just someone's life movie.
yeah,
like
yeah.
just what they went through, like and all that, just everything.
Yeah, it's an interesting part of video parts where you put in a little more than scootering. You know, you put in other things that you're into, you know, other interests you have, and it adds to the video. It adds to the personality of like the video, and like people watching it will feel a certain way. They'll be like, "Oh, they do this. Like maybe I should try and do that." You know, like just I don't know. That's a really cool aspect to a video, I think, and
I feel like
that'll be
that-
really good to bridge those gaps.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many elements of a video, like what you're saying, that aren't scootering or even like a skate video or bike video. It's like there's a lot of elements of those videos where it's not the actual action of them doing their craft. It's like these little moments that aren't in that craft that help build that craft. You know what I'm trying to say? And I think that what those people choose to put in are like so important about how people are going to represent, like how people are going to perceive that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think about it like if somebody only uses them smoking weed as their B-roll, it's like I'm gonna think that's their only personality trait.
Yeah,
And like,
right. I
and
definitely,
like
yeah.
it's like don't get me wrong, like I think weed is great, but it's like I don't like when that's somebody's only personality trait. They're pretty lame. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm sure we all knows people like that.
Oh, of course.
But it's like I love to see like you have a dog in your life you really like let me see that dog. Like where's that dog
Yeah,
at?
right?
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I don't know. Like,
Yeah, I got dog B-roll for sure. Like,
Oh yeah, you got to get Toby in there.
yeah, Toby's the star.
I just think it's interesting, like the mediums of which scooter videos are viewed. I feel like in skateboarding, it's like the reason that edits are so like powerful and important is because they all stemmed from VHS videos. You know what I mean? They all stemmed from that, and then those VHS videos then transpired into like DVDs. And those were all full lengths, you know, and those were physical copies that you would have to buy. And I feel like that's what supported skateboarding for so much time, were these physical copies that you could buy and that people would trade, or it was like a currency. And then slowly the internet came to be, you know, and then people just started releasing these parts for free. And fortunately, the skateboard brands were established enough that they could just sell their product, you know what I mean? But I feel like that's kind of an interesting problem that scootering is faced with, you know? It's like, okay, like we do have edits like skateboarding, but it's not like we don't really have like that same history that skateboarding has with the edits. We don't have that like formation of videos. And I feel like the original scooter videos, the early scooter videos, like maybe not the ones you get in like the Razor boxes, but like I mean the real scootering edits, like the ones that we talk about, the Matt McKean videos, the early ones, like those videos are all on YouTube. They were all introduced on YouTube. You know, they're all introduced online. And I think it's interesting, like, is YouTube the best format for videos of scootering to be viewed on? Is it the most beneficial? And if it is, then that's great. How do we get all of scootering to view one channel? And then the other thing is Instagram hurting scootering? Because if that's just another website basically that you can like view content on. Where does that fall? And I want to hear what your guys' opinions of like Instagram and scootering and like the just the content, overall content viewing. Like what is your ideal way of viewing a scooter video and like why?
I mean, I think skate videos do so well because Thrasher, obviously.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's that one place that everyone sees it.
And
yeah.
like that's the thing is like you just put on YouTube and just like play Thrasher videos and they just keep playing, you know, and it's just
hammer.
Yeah, exactly. And like even they're not even some videos like aren't the best, you know, but they're still on there and like you still watch them because they're just playing. And even like if you're not in the room, they're still playing. They're still getting that views, you know, because it's like on a playlist like thing. And not a lot of kids are like making scootering playlists, so it's like
And if they are, they're usually private.
Exactly. And like so I think it's really important for all scooter videos to be on one source because like there's just too many channels and too many other outlets for kids to watch these things, and like it's just so sporadic. There's so many things going on. But if it's like one established thing, that's like you're going there to watch scootering, you know? Like you can watch dudes' Instagram clips, but their parts aren't going to be on their Instagram. A lot of dudes don't even promote their parts on, like a lot of skaters, like they won't even promote their parts. Like they'll post an Instagram clip that day or something,
cool
you know? Fully cool guy. Because like they know that it's going to be on Thrasher and it's going to get those views. They don't need to promote it, you know? Like it's
true. It's just kind of frustrating to me a little bit sometimes when I see certain scooter riders in the community that work really hard on a video, and then it kind of flops because it's like just the where they're viewing the content isn't the right spot. It's just like that's why your video isn't succeeding. That sucks. You know what I mean? And it's like what would it take for a community to have that one central spot? Who would be responsible of that one central spot, and like what does that look like? Because I know we have Trend Kill.
Yeah, I mean we used to have like Inside Scooters, and like Impact Scooters. You know, that was like my one-stop shop. I would go there every single day. I'd go to Inside, like see what is a new video, have like a little comment on it, and it was great. But those websites have fallen off, and now
Olay is kind of doing it.
Yeah, Olay is kind of doing it right.
But I feel like it needs to, like it almost needs to be like an app or something. Like it needs to be something that's like fits in with modern technology. I feel like even going into this sounds crazy, but even going onto Google, typing in Olay.com, Olay brand, and then going onto their website, going to a whole different website, I feel like is kind of in a way primitive compared to like how kids view media now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean they're all on YouTube all the time, so
YouTube
it makes sense to be on to be on YouTube. But yeah, just to do it right with one channel and have like a good image behind it, like known by like the people who are posting it are about scootering and like love it, and yeah, it's sick. I mean, what about with Undialed? Like, is that like something that you guys have been doing, like posting other people's videos, or not really?
So here's the thing. And with Undialed and like how we do it is like initially, like you guys know, we have like the repost page, we have the Undialed Instagram, and that was the whole idea of the Undialed Instagram initially, was basically to have like one central spot that scooter riders could find other scooter riders they might not necessarily know because of region, and basically give one central spot that people could be promoted for riding their scooter. That was the whole idea behind Undialed, because when we started this YouTube channel, it was like, okay, like, what are we going to post? Like, just like snippets from our YouTube videos on the Instagram? Like, that's not very interesting. Like, what would really benefit scootering? It's like, all right, take me and Clayton's name completely out of it. It's the whole objective of the Instagram: grow scootering, promote scootering. Like, me and Clayton don't make any money from it. Like, we've just been doing it just purely from our hearts. Like, for a while. Like, I mean, we get clout from it, but like that's just, I mean, it's just work, honestly. So that was the idea behind the Instagram. And when we did our YouTube video, we wanted to do like other style of videos. It's like we wanted to make like skits and edit reviews and other stuff like that. And, you know, we have uploaded people's videos onto the channel in the past, but like I feel like I know myself well enough, and Clayton knows himself well enough. I just don't like I feel like we are potentially the people that could run this media source, but I feel like the person that has to run this medium where all people are going to view the content that's kind of got to be their full-time job. Like they can't worry about an Instagram as well. They can't worry about a podcast. They can't worry about filming skits. They can't worry about a fingerboard park. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't think I have enough time in my day to like, I could probably do it, but to do it,
Get flustered.
to do it right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I feel like that's a potential area that's completely open within scootering, and it's going to take a while to develop. It would take a lot of persistence, and it would take a lot of patience. But I think that's a wide open spot in scootering that somebody can make a full-time job out of.
Yeah, it's an opportunity.
I think Trendkill is doing a pretty good job with that right now. They're killing it, and I mean, I think to get like a company to get it posted is like $100, which is pretty good. Like that's reasonable. Like if a company is sending a video for them to post, they have to pay $100, which is pretty good, I think. And then like any just kid that wants his video on Trendkill is free, you know?
Yeah.
So that's sick. Like I think they're killing it with that, because I know multiple people that just put on the Trendkill YouTube playlist, you know, and just play scooter videos all day.
I've definitely done that before when I've had homies over.
Exactly.
For sure. The only thing with Trendkill that I wouldn't say is an issue. I don't think it's an issue. I don't think that they're using their marketing to the best of their ability. And that's no disrespect against them. I just think that they're not paying enough attention to how well their thumbnails look. And not even clickbaiting their videos. It's just like they're just not aesthetically pleasing. Like, and it's like that's like there's like a lot of human psychology that goes into that. You know what I mean? It's like there's a wide range between like clickbait, lying thumbnails, and thumbnails that just do a really good job of describing the video. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like they're not putting enough emphasis on that, and YouTube does put a lot of emphasis on that, and they're potentially not playing the game, but Thrasher is. Thrasher's really good at playing the algorithm. They're really good. They have teams. You know what is Trendkill? David Coe and Matt McKean. Like it's two people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like they're definitely doing great things, but I feel like half the time on their Instagram they're promoting videos that are posted on other YouTube channels, which is fine, but it's the same problem. You know what I mean? And it's like I'm even guilty of that problem. I posted my video on Tilt Scooters. Clayton posted his video on Undialed. And I posted my previous video on Undialed, and my video before that was on District. It's like none of my videos are even in the same spot. Imagine if they were all on Trendkill.
That'd be sick.
That'd be sick. But there's also, I feel like, a little bit of potentially bias in Trendkill as well. It's like, would Trendkill upload a really sick park video? Maybe, maybe not.
I would love to see them or someone have a whole outlet for all scootering. You know, like, and I get that they wouldn't want to post like a not well made video or something. Of course, you know, like, but if it's like well made and they put their work and time to it, like, post it. Like, it's scootering. It's sick to see scootering. Like, any trick is cool to me. I don't know. Like, I love just watching people have fun.
Yeah, it's interesting how like even in a subculture, there's subcultures, you know, and it just kind of keeps going from there. And it happens with, I feel like, a lot of different action sports industries. Like, I'm like really into like surfing right now, so I know way too much about surfing, and it was all about like what board you rode, like what size board or how you ride that board. And there's like all these subcultures in surfing, and all these people have different goals, like to do tricks differently than the other people. But I have seen like there's this app, right, that has like different tiles for you just click on, like, oh, if you want to see something alternative or you want to see something more traditional, like you just click on that and it's just a full array of videos and they just play over and over again. Like, I feel like that industry has so much money and has done marketing right. And yeah, that app, I'm not even gonna say it, but it's a good app. Yeah, I think we could learn some stuff from that. But that just being an opportunity, like it's out there, and I really think, you know, with Trendkill they're trying to do that, but it's just the time and probably money too.
They're not getting that much money from it, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, me and Clayton don't make that much money from Undialed. It's like I know the game they're playing. You know, like it's like they're kind of doing like just charity work.
That's interesting.
And that's hard, and that's hard to do. Yeah. Like,
it's interesting you say the thumbnails. Like, is the Trendkill thumbnail? Is it just like a black? It's kind of like a black like Trendkill logo with a person.
It's like it always changes. But the point I'm trying to say is it's not a good representation of what the video is going to portray. It's a good representation of trendkill,
Yeah.
but it's not what the video is trying to portray. And I feel like that's
plain
really
almost?
important.
Like-
yeah, it's almost just like dark and a little bit. It's like I would have to
know
go.
what you're
I would
talking
have to go per case, and I would have to go through each particular one. But it's just the general. It's just the general of I don't. And this is my personal opinion. I don't think that the thumbnail does a good enough job at describing what shows the video. And I think that what comes down to is like people aren't watching that video because it's on Trendkill. People are watching that video because they want to watch a scootering video. And it's like, I feel like if potentially Trendkill could recognize that, it's like, yo, it's not about like Trendkill. Like Trendkill is going to get the recognition at some point. It will. But like the more important thing right now is just the views. The views, getting the scooter videos out to people. It's okay if two scooter videos right next to each other are different. You know what I mean? That's fine. We don't got to make the thumbnails match each other. What's more important than that is that like the views are there, that the audience is there, and that people are enjoying these things. And it's like that's all I mean by it. I don't.
No, I just thought it was a really good point and like a very specific point, you know, on something that could totally change. And totally help.
Well, it's crazy like how much thumbnails matter. Like after, I mean, I've uploaded near 600 YouTube videes over the course of Undialed, you know, and it's like you start to see patterns after doing that of just like what the system really values, and it changes over the years, but it's crazy how important the thumbnail is. The thumbnail's half of the video. It's like for my most recent scooter part, and I think I'm one of the only scooter riders to do this. Like I made the thumbnail as important as one of the tricks in my video. I thought about the thumbnail. I thought about like it's basically like I have to have my complete edit and I have to have a photo that goes along with the edit, and the photo has to be as good as the entire video. And basically, like I put a lot of thought into what my thumbnail was going to be, and I tested that thumbnail on different platforms. I tested on TikTok that exact thumbnail and see how that did in other audiences. I tested a whole bunch of different things, and I think
You just post it on Instagram?
what
Did you just post it on Instagram, or were you just looking how like
I posted
it would see
it on
the layout?
variant other like TikTok accounts that aren't mine as like my first post because they usually do well, and I just wanted to see how like it would just vary in other audiences that weren't particularly mine.
Nice. Cool.
And I just find that stuff very interesting and cool.
Oh yeah, it's attention to detail. Like
And it's basically like what a thumbnail is it's like you have to create a photo that somebody's going to see in their peripheral vision, and it's going to catch their attention. How are you going to do that? Well, that's what the artist at work is going to try to do, you know? But I think that that's one thing in scootering that really needs to happen is that central spot. I feel like I always talk about these on the podcast, but I feel like it's really important. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's in the works. I think it's just gonna take off, you know, at a moment, and you know, you make those slight changes, and then the views come up, and as you said, like things will spiral into place. I hope, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of up for grabs. It's true.
I feel like scootering is going to have another like boom, you know? Like I feel like there's so many marketing teams of bigger companies and things like looking at scootering, and
They are.
and yeah, like could be a whole different thing in the next 5 years. Like
That's true.
whole different
Think
thing.
about scootering 5 years ago from here.
Exactly. And like I just think like I don't know, like I don't think people have to even push it that hard. I think we just have to be consistent and like show them that like, yeah, we're fucking here and we're not going anywhere, you know? And like then bigger companies are gonna start noticing that and be like, all right, they're pretty legit. Like they've been doing it, you know? Like
Do you know what something that I always think about that makes me just like I think about it really deeply, and then it just makes me happy afterwards because I'm like, hell yeah, like this is sick. It's basically like I get asked a lot, like, Will, why do you scooter over skateboard? And I have like a pretty simple answer for that. And it's like, it took me a while to figure out what my answer was going to be. But I feel like I have a really solid answer of why I like scootering for me more than skateboarding. And it has nothing to do with the physical actions of it. It's like I do enjoy riding a scooter. A scooter feels good to ride compared to a skateboard. And that's just my own personal opinion. But like the thing that I really like about scootering, the thing I really like is I really like being on the forefront of an industry and on the forefront of a community. Because like because it's like there's no certainty in it. It's just kind of like we're doing this because we want to do this. We're doing this because we like to do this.
Exactly.
And I feel like the opportunity that like all of us get to be on like the forefront of something, like be on like create the history for it, not just be a part of the history, like write the history. Like that's so freaking cool that we get to be a part of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, sure, we get made fun of a little bit. Sure, you know, we get.
So did Jay Adams. Jay Adams got made fun of, but
they're
legends now.
Yeah,
you know?
it's
like
so
Tony
cool.
Hawk got made fun of, but
yeah,
he's a legend now. Like
it's start somewhere.
It's gonna be crazy to see in the future. It's gonna be so insane, and I'm hyped for it. Just see what happens.
Yeah, it must feel really good that you guys also ride for like such a core brand that like really fundamentally cares so much about scootering. Like I was really impressed with Matt Tom one time. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but a while ago I made this video called The History of a Scooter Fork. It's like this 30-minute video about like the start, like very beginning of how a scooter fork even came to be until like the modern scooter fork and what we're talking about. But I was going to do this other video where it's like the evolution of a scooter deck. And I got pretty deep into it, but I kind of got to these like weird points where like everyone's stories were kind of contrasting each other, and I didn't really know what the real story was. So I was like, I don't really know who made the deck, because it's like on one aspect you have like Phoenix being like, no, we made it, and on the other aspect you have TSI like, no, we made it, and it's just like their stories don't match up. Yep. So I kind of just got to a point where it's like I don't really want any beef. Like I just won't make.
You were talking to both of them, like you were emailing back and forth.
No, I was Skyping them.
Nice.
I was talking to them about their stories, and then individually talking to them, like their stories just didn't line up, and I was like, I'm not going to find out who's like lying. I think they're both a little bit embellished. You know,
who were you talking to from Phoenix?
I was talking to Tom Floyd.
Oh wow. Crazy.
So I was I was talking to them, but when I was talking to Matt, I literally just called the shop. I just called the TSI shop. And I called him. I was like, it's like, yo, is this Matt Tom? And he's like, yeah, it is. And I was like, hey, you may or may not know who I am, but my name is White Trash Willie. I am part of Undialed. And he's like, no, I've never heard of you. So I like introduced myself to him and like told him like who I was.
Yeah.
And then he sat down for like an hour with me and just told me about the entire history of a scooter deck.
You want to talk scooters?
Oh man, he loves it.
Yeah, loves it.
And I recorded the entire conversation. I have his conversation and Tom's conversation. I still might want to do that video at some point, but like I just need to like work through that kink.
Dude, we'll get him on the podcast. Yeah. We'll call him up right now. No, but Matt like, is a great guy. Like he does so much for all of us. Yeah. And like, it's just...
That's what I really noticed from him is he's such a genuine person.
Unbelievably grateful for him. Like, I wouldn't be here without him. Like, he is the man. And anyone who says different can fuck right off. They're wrong.
Yeah, that guy loves scootering. Like, I remember, like, going to the TSI shop the first time, like, having nothing to do with TSI. Just, like, love the company, you know, like out the gate, and he was just so stoked to show me how the deck gets put together, because I had like some old TSI decks and I was like, fuck, like how do these pieces like go together? I was like confused, and he was like, oh yeah, here you go, you put this deck plate here and you get the neck, and I was like, oh my god, this guy's so down. Like he loves scootering, and I was like blown away by that, as I'm sure like you were, by how willing he was to talk to you about scooters forever. You know, he loves it. I remember like talking to him about the concave of a deck and what that means and what the measurement is, because the measurement is not in degrees. There's no way to make a curved surface at like degrees. You know how it's like 5 degrees or
yeah. Well, what they do isn't it basically like as if it's a circle that they like take a measurement from. Yeah, that it's like it's basically like
right.
Collins described this to me.
It's a radius, right?
Yeah, it's a radius.
It's a giant circle, but that's not like 3. It's definitely not 3. Like it's a totally different number. It's like 26 or something. But I guess when he was like first making the flight decks, he bent the flight decks, and then they were he just like called it 3 degrees, and then supposedly, I don't know like how it gets in there, but then Phoenix just started calling theirs like 5 degrees or something because they had more concave than
That's
the TSI
hilarious.
does.
I could
Yeah, I
so
don't
see
know.
that happening.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that either. So
Yeah, I don't know. Matt just kind of hucks ideas and hopes they work. And honestly, every single one works out. Like, it's incredible.
No, when I was talking to him on the phone, he's like, yeah. So like, me and my wife, we were really broke, and like, it was like, are we gonna eat or make this extrusion? And I made the extrusion. I was like, damn,
that still happens.
damn.
yeah, that's how it's going over.
That still has those months sometimes, Like, it's crazy what he does for scootering and what he does he's just amazing, man. Like,
Yeah,
he's
stoked on it.
he's super stoked on it. Like, if you show up to the shop or even like you said, call him, like, he will drop whatever he's doing and just kick it with you. Okay. Like, he will show you anything you want. He will teach you anything you want. He loves teaching things to people so he doesn't have to do it. So like, if you're like hyped on learning something, he's like, fuck yeah, all right, like, yeah, you can do this. Like, just like
on the mill.
But
I'll teach you how to make deckheads.
But dude, yeah, exactly, dude. Like, he has made like
Straight
bike
up.
frames and his own guitar. Like, he's made replicas guitars of the Mad Cat, like his favorite guitar and shit. And like, he has a bike, like a road bike, built up in the shop that he's built himself.
That's
and,
really
like,
sick.
He has all these crazy contraptions, like the big wheel scooter. Have you guys?
Yeah.
Or like, we want to make a big wheel scooter, like, like.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it's gonna be. But he just always has new ideas, and he's always working on something. And like, he definitely gets stressed sometimes, but like, he knows how to handle it a lot better than I've seen people handle it. Like, he handles his stuff very well. And
For sure.
yeah, it's great to see. It's great to see him.
What was your story of getting on TSI? I want to hear both of your guys' stories.
My story pretty much was I moved to Hood River.
Yeah.
And I was scootering with everyone in Portland. Like, it was like an hour drive or whatever. I lived there for a year. And then I moved to Portland, and I moved into the Brick House, like when Ryan Upchurch and Dan Barrett were moving to the east. So I moved in with Greg and Casey. And then that was like the last month, like before they had to be out of the house. So I just like was kicking it there for the month. And then Greg was like, well, you want to try and get an apartment? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, you want to try and get me a job at TSI maybe, like, I need money. And he was like, yeah, for sure. And then I started working there. And then like, he would always like make jokes like, all right, we need someone new, someone fresh. Like, we don't got that around here. And you like look around, and you're like, fuck off, man, And then he started bringing me on like trips and stuff to San Diego and stuff. And then it was eventually just like, that's kind of where we actually both got on at the same time. And because that's how they kind of like to do it, is like do two people, or like we used to do that, like two people at once, like Brian Noyes, Mike Homan, like Sam Grove, Xander Williams, that was kind of the trend we were going for, and he wanted to stick with that. So that was pretty much.
You two were the pair?
Nice. Yeah.
That's sick.
I think, did you message me on Instagram?
Yeah.
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 So he put me on.
I put him on. Yeah. I've been trying to be like team manager for like the last 3 years, because no one's really been like, there's not been really a TSI team manager.
Yeah.
But now I'm actually the team manager.
Really?
Like within the last couple months, so it's pretty sick. Like,
That's sick.
A lot more stuff to do. Big plans for TSI.
I'm stoked, dude.
Yeah, but
I know that can be like regardless of like how much team riders you have or how big the company is, like that's an obligation, That's, it's tough. Like I've definitely like I've been offered the spot of like being TMs on companies in the past, and I've always been like, that's too much obligation for me. But it sounds like you really enjoy it. That's
it was
sick.
honestly more just like helping Matt like take a load off his shoulders and stuff, because like a bunch of people asking him for decks and stuff, and
like you
all
can
that.
handle that.
Exactly. It's like it's just take a weight off his shoulders. Like, it's honestly not even a big thing. It's just like helping him. Anything I can do to help him out is what I try and do. Just make his life easier, because he makes our lives great. So
So when you got sponsored, they were basically like, all right, so you're on. Who's gonna be your homie?
Is that how it was like we were talking about Kevin for a while too, because Matt saw his Heligrip part, or no, not the
He saw hella good stuff at
hella
San
good stuff
Diego.
in
That
San
video
Diego.
was so good.
Yeah. Thanks.
And
It's fun.
he was definitely hyped on Kevin for a while, you know, and then he just didn't really know how to like get a hold of him and stuff. So at first we hit Kevin up and we're like, yo, like, you want a deck, you know, like we'll send you some stuff, you know, and I don't even think we announced it for like a few months, right? Like we were just kind of like sending him stuff, and then we were going to do something, but Matt just kind of like has days where he's like, no, we got to do this now. So he was just like, yeah, we're announcing you guys this week. And it was just like, all right, like, you know, it's just kind of like we needed something. So he just wanted to do that. And that's pretty much how it happened. Just like,
That's sick.
I don't know. It was definitely a trip, still a trip to think about. Like,
So how long ago was that now? Like
It's 4 years.
4
I
years?
thought it was like 2017 maybe, or I don't, yeah.
I don't know. I was in like community college, maybe first year still, I think. I've been in
Well, how long
for
did Hella Good Stuff
4
come out?
years. Hella Good Stuff came out in like
2016?
16. Yeah, I think so.
So
Got
it was
it.
probably
Yeah.
2017
Senior year.
around.
Okay, that makes
It was
sense.
probably 2017 going into 2018
That's true. Yeah.
because
Probably
it was
3-ish years.
winter. Like I remember that.
That's
Yeah.
sick. Okay.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, it's been great. Like I freaking love TSI decks.
Dude,
I
TSI,
was like
yeah.
so honored. Like I was total dream come true type moment. Like just because of Matt. Matt's just an awesome guy, and I love that it's like made in the USA, and like he makes that stuff by his
Oh yeah.
own
Yeah,
hands.
like
It's-
I have
I
handmade
love how
deckings.
I
on
love
my
how
deck.
TSI decks, each one is a little bit different.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are.
Like
They are.
I swear
have
I've ridden
personality.
TSI. Yeah, I swear I've ridden TSI decks before. I'm like, yo, this one feels different. Like,
Oh, they're all yeah. I mean, not all
Yep.
different, but they're just it's your deck. Like it's meant for you. You know, like
Yeah. Doesn't work for you, trade with your friend.
yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah.
you know what's funny is like about your story, like you going into the shop and like meeting everyone and then getting on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have such a similar story about Tilt in the
Yeah.
same way. So like when I think I was either a freshman or sophomore in high school. My parents' friends had a wedding in Chicago, and I was like, we're going out to Chicago, and I was like, I always liked to do like extracurricular activities when I'd go on family vacations.
Oh,
So
yes.
like it would either be like visiting a skate park or like
Yep.
I don't know, going to something related to fingerboarding or something related to scootering. But I knew Tilt was based out of Chicago, so I was like, this is what I want to do as my thing for this trip. I want to go see this warehouse. I want to go see this factory. So I call the Tilt warehouse like a few days before I leave. And I call him and Colin answers the phone, and I was like, yo, Colin. I was like, or hello, is this Tilt? Like, I'm this guy from the Bay Area, and have an interest in your brand. It's cool to me. Like, can I just come around and like see it? And that was back when they had Sky High and Tilt in the same warehouse. And he's like, I've never been asked this question before. What day are you gonna be here? And I was like, this day. And he was like, you know what? Sure, come through. Just I'll see you here. And I was like,
Fuck it.
I was like, all right, let's get it. So the day came around, you know, my parents and I got in the car. We drove like an hour and a half out of the way.
Yeah.
And we get to the warehouse, and I call the same number. I'm like, hello, it's Will. I'm here. And then I just see Colin like jump out of like this random door, and he's like, "Oh, hello, like come in." So then me and my parents get out of the car. It's literally me, my mom, and my dad.
Nice.
We get out of the
Nice.
car. I meet Spencer Steed, who was working at the Tilt place. I officially like meet Colin. They show me around the whole Sky High warehouse. I had never been to a scooter shop in my life before.
Yeah.
So I was just like, my scooter distribution, like, damn, there's so much shit in here. There's so much product. So I was like looking around at all the cool stuff. And then I met Jonah Humble. I met a few other dudes who were like working at the shop at that time.
Yeah.
And like, it was just like crazy to me because I feel like I had such a good like first impression for Colin. Like I was so fascinated about what I was doing, and my dad does a lot of design stuff as well. And so him and Colin were like hit it off really well. And I feel like
he's probably
that's
stoked.
I feel like that's one of like the main things that kind of like cascaded my way into like being on Tilt, is like making that connection so early on. So one thing that like gets me hyped now is when kids like I don't know, when kids ask me like strange questions about Undialed, like I don't know, like tell me about your living situation on Undialed. I'm like, I'm really fascinated because like I see myself in that same kid. Like he's
Yeah.
trying to figure out like the little
Exactly.
code.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
I love to see it. I love to see kids
Yeah.
just thinking. Like, you know, like I was saying earlier, like I love to see things that don't involve scootering and scootering.
Yeah.
Like, because like it gets kids more hyped, you know, like a lot of kids don't realize that there's more to life than just scootering, and
For
you
real.
should have more hobbies, because then you're just going to get too burnt out on scootering too quick, you know? And that was my problem for a while. It's like I would just scooter, and then like I get so like over it, just like, damn, I'm scootering
Scootered out.
too much. Yeah, you know? So then you
I've
just
been
start,
there before.
yeah, and like that's what, yeah, I want to see more of, is just like other things in scootering, you know, like get kids thinking and using their
Yeah.
brains and creative and just make things. And like you do a great job with that, just the fingerboard park, you know. It's like,
Yeah.
because kids are like, word, I can do that too, you know. Like it's just, it's good to see stuff like that.
I
for
mean,
sure.
it's nice because like I feel like my one of my end goals in like scootering and just being a person is it's like I really want to build a skate park someday. Like I really want to build like a cool skate park that I'd really enjoy. The ultimate goal is at some point I could buy a building like the size of like an Amazon distribution building and just build like a town, and each like part of the skate park is like its own little town
That'd
that's
be
like
sick.
completely custom
Oh my
themed.
gosh.
Like
Yeah.
per area of the world is trying to recreate or
make a
whatever.
mini model
That's what I'm
over
saying.
there.
Like, yeah, just like the fingerboard park, but like in real life. And that's like one of my ultimate goals. And it's like I got to start somewhere. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's a really out there idea, but it's like I got to start somewhere. You know, I gotta like get the framework down. But I don't know. Like that's just I just it's just
Yeah.
cool.
When I was thinking about when we were talking about Burnside, I was thinking about your fingerboard park and just how like you don't know where to go, and then you just need to make a line, and it's like you have different angles coming into each other, and I don't know. Yeah, you could definitely plan out a skate park that way.
Do you ever think about a skate
just
park, how
execute.
simple they actually are? It's like 4 ramps. Like every skate park is like a combination of 4 ramps. It's like it's a bank, it's a quarter pipe, it's flat surface, and a wall. And it's like, what can you do with those like what can you do with those shapes? And it's like no matter like even a rail is like those shapes used in a way. You know, it's like it's either a line, like a curved line, vertical or horizontal, and it's like how the relationship, how they use those like planes is
Yeah.
so interesting.
Have you looked into like concrete companies that build skate parks and what they do? Like, is that can't be their bread and butter? Like, they probably do other like housing stuff.
So there's 2 ways that they do it. There's two types, like depending on the skate park company, they have 2 ways of doing it. Sometimes they contract concrete companies. Like the skate park company will like do all of the designs, will do all of like the blueprints,
Right.
and then they'll contract a concrete company to do it for them. But there is concrete companies like Team Payne that do it themselves, and they really take pride in building it themselves. And those are more USA companies that do all the concrete themselves, and it's more like European and parts in the other places that use a lot more wood than American people. Like in the UK, all of the skate park manufacturers out there, they're all wood companies because they build like the wooden skate parks.
Yeah.
Like 41.4 or that's all I can think of right
Yeah.
now. But in the United States, there's so many companies that they only build concrete parks. They don't build any wood parks, and they usually pour their own stuff because that's their company, you know. But there's a lot of companies that build wood stuff that also contract concrete stuff, and when they do that, they contract the concrete for them, and then they build the
Right.
wood part themselves. I don't know if that.
No, yeah,
too.
no, totally. That's like a lot more insight than I had. So yeah, it's. I mean, oh man, that would be so cool
Yeah.
to build your own. Yeah, it'd
I know it's even sometimes cheaper for like construction too, to like just get contract the concrete company. You know, like sometimes there's the company will do it way cheaper than you can do it for. Or like if you have to get your truck shipped out or something, it's just like we'll just get them to do it. You know, like
The tough thing is like I feel like there's such a it's like a steady hand, or it's like a green thumb or something, like just like a level of expertise that goes into skate park manufacturing that can't really be tampered with, especially with how good modern skate parks are. I feel like there's like when I think of like Dublin skate park, you know what I'm talking about, or like
just
Val.
about to say Dublin skate park,
like,
man.
Like when I think about
They
that,
did
it's
not know what they were doing.
it's like yo, they did not hire a skate park company, but like
Have you been to Dublin skate park?
I don't think.
Oh, we'll
so.
go. It's great.
it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Like it sucks. It's
Jake
horrible.
rips it.
yeah, it does. But it's bad. Like it's a bad park.
It sounds great.
Yeah,
Like,
you'd love it. You'd love it.
perfect,
He
yeah.
loves terrible skate parks.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
the
Or
king,
not skate parks.
It's the king of terrible skate parks. That's fun,
Sick.
and it has 24-hour lights. That's another great
even
thing about
better.
it. I don't know if they still have that, but I think about like
think
that.
so.
I think about that skate park. It's just like the materials were there, but like the expertise, not at all.
Yeah, no. That's so funny because that's probably what happened. Is the designer was just like, do this here, this here, this here, this here, and they're like, all right, we're gonna build shapes, and then just built shapes and put a little rounded at the bottom. We're like, there you go, that's a spine transfer.
Yeah.
But it's like a big triangle.
It's a
type
spine,
thing that
but
just
it's
like
literally
goes straight into the ground.
They literally have a
Oh, dude,
spine
it's
there that's a
great.
triangle. Like
Yeah.
it's not a
Oh
spine;
my
it's just a
God.
triangle
Yeah.
with two pieces.
You
of
could
cookie.
do it, but it'd technically be like wall right up, wall right down. It's so funny. And then there will be like a good corner. Like, okay, they figured it out here, and then just right down the way, it's just bank into the floor.
There's no.
It sounds
it's
like
just-
fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's super fun.
You know, like
Yeah, it's great.
You know, like when you're riding and like after you go past like the curved rail, there's like that part where you can drop in and it's almost like a little fly out hip. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
That quarter pipe is fire for some reason. I have no idea why.
Right. They did great there.
But that's it.
That's it.
That's the
Yeah.
only spot.
Or they're just working like in sections, and one guy just happened to know like how to build a quarter.
There's like,
Just like skater.
there's like legends of that park where apparently like homeless people are like drunk construction workers or prisoners built
Yeah, I
it.
heard it
like,
was the prisoners.
yeah, it was the
because,
prisoners.
Oh,
It's
really?
probably not true, but it could be true that they had the prisoners like work on the concrete for that.
I could see it.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the water park that's right next to that skate park?
What's going on?
That water park was the biggest L I've ever heard in my life. Listen to this. This is the series of events that happened. So Emerald Glen Park, that's the name of the park that Dublin's inside of. So Emerald Glen Park builds this water park, right? And right when the Bay Area is like in the middle of a drought, of course. And so they got all that flack for building a water park in the middle of a drought.
Oh my god.
And then like the day that they open up the water park, right? They built the water slide so steep that somebody fell off of it. And like they had to shut down the water park the first day that it opened. And I'm just like thinking about I was like, dude, like imagine all that tax money. Like they could have just built like a better Dublin.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But nope, they built a flawed water slide.
Wow. Can you imagine? Just like, oh yeah, no, this is safe. This is a water slide. Like
Yeah,
for
no.
sure. And then you're just in the air. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Just-
like, yeah. Like I've
Wait,
got
yeah.
sketchy on water slides. Like,
Did you go down the water slide and then flew off?
I have no idea.
Fell off climbing up?
I just heard it on the news.
well, like, yeah, like if he was going around a corner, and just, or if he was going like the drop one.
I'm
like,
sure
you know,
it was
big
the drop
one.
I'm sure it was the drop.
Like this.
Because they have a steep one.
Yeah, yeah.
Just first person, a little more weight, just
But they must have just made
Pumps
it
it?
like too steep, so you like rolled over and then like just kind of dropped a bit, or I don't even know.
I think
Because
they
like
fell off climbing up. I feel like that would be the
Maybe.
easiest
climbing
way
up the
to have
stairs.
an accident. Yeah.
What do you
Just
mean?
like like climbing up the stairs, you fall off the balcony, or something. Like they're
Oh.
repairing the railing, or I don't know. But that would be gnarly if you jumped off the water slide like a ramp.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
can't imagine like having that much money and just being like, we should build a water park. A water park will
In
be
the
the
Bay
most
Area,
profitable.
in Dublin.
Yeah.
Like, I get it in Arizona, but like,
Yeah,
it's
it's
like,
funny.
how many months out of the year can you use that in the Bay? Unless
Yeah.
the pools are heated like a month, 2 months. Like,
Yeah, crazy water parks are like not a thing anymore. That's like
not
you know how
really.
gross a water park.
Yeah, so
yeah,
many people are
tons of-
riding water parks right now too. Like I see so many videos
yeah.
of people riding water parks. I'm like,
water
where,
parks are fun.
yeah, where are those at?
Yeah, I haven't gotten to ride a water park. That'd be
There's
sick.
there's one in California somewhere.
There's one on the way between Vegas and LA,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I think
in
there's
Palm
a,
Springs?
There's a couple.
kind of near there.
the one in Palm Springs where they're doing like a lot of skateboarding, like going over that full pipe and stuff. That's like owned by some company that they say it's chill. Like the dude says it's chill, like that owns that place.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. I haven't been to one. Sounds fun.
I didn't realize I was in Palm Springs. We were very close to Palm Springs. I
Yeah,
think.
they're not gonna let us in there.
They
They
don't have
could.
to let us.
So I guess it's a wave pool. They're making it a wave pool.
Oh,
And so it's for like surfing, and the dude's just like, oh yeah, of course you can ride the water slides. We don't care about the water slides.
sick.
That's wild. I feel like me and Daniel went inside of an amusement park when we went to Colorado a few weeks ago. We were like looking for spots inside of like this abandoned amusement park, and that was
sounds
like
fun.
pretty wild. I don't think it's as good as a water park. Water park I feel like has lots of natural corridors because of the slides, but the amusement park was interesting. We got kicked out, but
Nice.
Probably
Still
look
fun.
cool for clips, like
Yeah.
all the rides in the back.
We didn't get any. We got kicked out pretty immediately. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was
Mellow,
still cool.
mellow kick out. No
Yeah.
ticket.
No, they didn't do shit. They were just like, they're like, yo, like people come in here all the time. We just like have to kick you out. And we're like, the dude was so nice about it. We're
Nice.
just like, all right.
Yeah, it's great.
Dude, it was pretty crazy to see like in Albuquerque, like the cops don't give a fuck there. They're like,
They have bigger fish to fry.
that's what we were thinking, like, cause like there is like spots there. Like it is a skate park
Yeah.
city. Like they're putting Bondo on bricks and shit, like anywhere. And it's just like, yeah, they don't fucking care. They're cutting caps off rails, like middle of downtown and stuff. And like cops are like, oh, give us a sec, we'll get out of your shot. It's just like, damn.
These two
sick.
cops rode by while we were like riding this like little art bank thing.
Yeah, we were fucking.
And we were like, oh, they're going to tell us not to ride it probably. And they're like, oh, sorry, like we'll get out of your way. Like don't want to be in, and you're filming or whatever. She's like, oh, cool. Like, see ya.
For
What
real.
everyone else said, too.
There's so many spots in Albuquerque. I feel like there's so many spots in Albuquerque that are like hidden too.
Oh yeah.
Of like little bank and like Clinton's giving me the nod. Like all of the ditches that they have there, there's gotta be some gems that like not any scooter riders know about.
Oh, yeah.
we just wanted to like park a car at the top and park a car at the bottom and just ride down a ditch like the whole way. We were just like, we should do this, but we only have one car.
Yeah,
That's like that's like a snowboard hill or something.
Exactly. We were just like, this could be like, yeah, it'd be so much fun. Just
Imagine
to do
a
that.
terrain park for scootering. Like imagine it was almost
It's
like
downhill.
It was like down, but like not steep, just like moderately downhill.
Mm-hmm.
So you could like, it's more like you're keeping your speed instead of like picking up speed. But what if it was just a series of obstacles that just like were like for like a mile?
I mean, at East, right? Have you ridden the one at East? Like it's like a slalom.
I know what you're
kinda
talking
track.
about. That one's kind of just like those
Ramps.
features are just like weird though. Like those
Yeah.
are just obscure features that you would only ever ride on that pump track. I mean like actual everyday features where you can really test your consistency. Because I feel like if you could go down, like I've only ever been to one downhill skate park, and it was in the Netherlands. They actually have one like
okay.
this. That's a downhill skate park where all of the obstacles are built to be like hit downhill.
That's gnarly.
It's like really interesting, but
I think Red Bull did like a contest like that, didn't they?
yeah.
That looked pretty fun. Like I'd have fun on that.
I feel like
Just,
scooters would be really good in that discipline.
Yeah, just like going back and forth down this course. Like it'd be like slopestyle scootering, like slopestyle mountain biking, but like scootering. Just
Yeah.
like that'd be crazy. Just like, and that's what it would be like one run. Like you can't
That's your
fall.
comp run.
Like it's just like you don't fall. Like
Yeah, I remember.
you do everything
I remember
consistent.
watching the Dew Tour, like the Dew Tour in San Francisco, and they had the ramps going down a street.
That year was
Yeah.
so sick. They had like the bike contest and
Can
the
you
skate
imagine
contest.
falling like
They had,
halfway
like-
between?
Yeah, dude.
You're done.
They had like the
You're so
bus at
done.
the end of it. I think the school bus.
Yeah,
and like
I don't know.
I remember Dennis Henderson's run from that, and that was nuts. He was charging that line. Like
Yeah, something.
I didn't
like that.
realize that was in San Francisco.
Just
But-
block off a street and bring a bunch of ramps to have a comp.
Doesn't Thrasher do some pretty like gnarly? They have like a Halloween jam or something that goes off.
Oh yeah,
I always see
are
content
funny.
from that. That's nuts.
And then like the Dolores Hill Bomb too, but they just added like skate strips at the bottom.
I
of
seen
Dolores
that.
Hill Bomb.
yeah.
Isn't that
Heard
hill
about
bomb
that
like
one.
pretty gnarly?
Well, yeah, I think some kid like died this year, like at the Dolores Hill Bomb Jam. Like he fell and then some kid like ran into him and like
it's
yeah, it was
terrible.
bad. It was very bad.
There was a well-known skater, Pablo Ramirez. What was his name? Is that it?
Peace Bliff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, he was like sketching a car up a hill, I think, or something, or a truck.
yeah.
And
He
got-
was like sketching some truck.
Got sucked under or something.
It wasn't from a straight hill bomb. That
Yeah.
was someone else, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Damn.
sucks.
but
Gnarly.
I'm it's fortunate like there's been no like besides from Jake's crazy like thing where he flicked the scooter.
dude, that
there,
one
there's
was nuts.
there's been like no real scooter falls in those hills that I've like ever seen. I feel like people have
there's
gotten out
one.
of them.
Yeah.
There's
you'll,
one
you'll
that
see it eventually.
you'll see one that's gonna
Who?
come
It's
out.
pretty bad.
You'll see it.
You'll see.
It's
Oh, man.
fucking gnarly.
It's terrible. Honestly, it's so terrible.
it's
a
bad.
idea.
It's really bad.
But
You'll see it,
yeah.
and you'll
talk
know it
about it.
when you see it. You'll be like, "Oh, that's what they were talking about." Like, oh,
Damn.
yeah,
I know. You can't like ever have to wait. Shit. There's nothing else we could say.
yeah. That's all there is to that one.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well,
unfortunately.
Do you guys have anything else you want to get off your chest about scootering, or anything else you want to talk about? I feel like right now is a pretty good spot to wrap it up. I feel like we've had some pretty good conversations about just scootering.
Just have fun.
Do
what feels good. If a board slide feels good on a curb, do it all day. If that is fun to you, like, don't let kids get to you.
Growing and feeling good.
That's the
Spliff motto.
Do front board slides your whole life. Who cares? It's the best feeling trick ever.
Just put your feet around, you do a board slide.
Yeah, like, it's great.
Well, hell yeah, boys.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate you guys so much for coming on. It's been a true pleasure talking to you, and I really enjoy your guys' brains.
Yeah, I appreciate you too.
Yeah. But thank you guys for tuning in to this Undialed podcast. If you guys want to see more of these, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next episode. Peace out.
Peace.
Peace.